Today's news highlights. Date April 21, 2025. News highlights: the White House updated its COVID website, saying that the virus most likely originated from a lab leak in China, and criticizing U.S. officials for their early repeated messages and cover-up theories. The new page lists 5 bases for the leak theory, including the virus with rare features in nature, high-risk studies conducted by the Wuhan laboratory, and suspicion of early cases. The CIA and the FBI also support the lab's origins theory with low to moderate confidence, respectively. After a 2-year investigation, the House Select Committee confirmed a link between the virus and the research accident, and questioned the effectiveness of lockdown and mask policies. News highlights: on April 19, 2025, nearly 1,000 Falun Gong practitioners held a commemorative event in front of the Taipei city government to commemorate the 26th anniversary of the 4.25 peaceful petition. The organizers called on the international community to investigate the CCP's systematic persecution and live organ harvesting atrocities, strengthen human rights protections in democratic societies, and end totalitarian persecution. News highlights: amid the escalation of the tariff war between China and the United States, the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond posted its biggest weekly increase since 2001 last week, causing market concern. Regarding the statement of the collapse of the dollar, Chinese economist Yang Songzuo bluntly said that the dollar will not collapse, because there is no currency in the world to replace it. The US dollar has 5 advantages: legal protection, economic scale, scientific and technological innovation, education level and financial market depth. He also stressed that economic development should improve people's livelihood, rather than striving to be the world's leader, and criticized some scholars for focusing too much on GDP rankings. News highlights: recently, at least 10 large financial institutions on Wall Street have lowered the target for the S&P 500 index by the end of this year, with the latest average estimate of 6,012 points, which is still about 14% higher than the current level, but far lower than the forecast at the beginning of the year. JP Morgan Chase & Co. was the most conservative forecast, while Citi lowered its forecast to 5,800 from 6,500. The S&P has fallen about 14% from its highs due to reciprocal tariffs and economic uncertainty, and economists worry that the trade dispute may drag down U.S. companies' profits and economic growth. News highlights: in the 90 days since President Trump was re-elected, progress on the U.S. China tariff deal has been limited, largely due to Trump's insistence on one-on-one negotiations with Xi Jinping, which has stalled formal communication. The U.S. side has not authorized the representative to dialogue, and the ambassador to China has not been confirmed, and there is a lack of diplomatic interaction. Bloomberg predicts that the United States may expand the trade war into the financial sector, pushing up China's international financing costs. The lack of mutual trust between the two sides, Beijing's preference for sending special envoys to negotiate, and Trump's refusal to mediate between Congress and business, has made it impossible for US-China relations to cool down in the short term. News highlights: TSMC's latest annual report revealed the top 10 shareholder changes. Citigroup's managed TSMC ADR special account ranked first, the National Development Fund maintained its holdings and ranked second, the Singapore government reduced its holdings by more than 130,000, the Norwegian Sovereign Fund increased its holdings by more than 20,000, the New Labour Retirement Fund reduced its holdings by nearly 40,000 to 7th, and Fubon Life Insurance fell out of the top 10. The adjustment of large national funds has attracted market attention. News highlights: the whole Taiwan ushered in a wave of housing delivery, but the cooling of the housing market and the Trump tariff policy detonated the stock market crash, resulting in an increased risk of capital chain disconnection, and more than 50,000 households may face a crisis of disconnection. Experts warn that tight funds and loan anxiety may affect the smooth delivery of houses, and housing prices and financial stability will be tested, suggesting that the central bank should loosen control, builders should assist in relending, and pay close attention to changes in the number of legal auctions. News highlights: Kei Zhendong recently attended an endorsement event, and saw a happy photo of the Idol IU board, and the pet fans took a group photo with full scores. After the event, I changed into the same denim jacket of Takeya Kimura and returned to the company, and I was in a happy mood. The death of his dog last year gave him a short break from work, and now he has returned to work after grief, and it is expected that there will be 2 new works in 2026, and he plans to direct. Starring in the new film Kung Fu with 9 Knives, which will be released during the Spring Festival in 2026, he also filmed the Macau film I Blow Out the Candle Before I Make a Wish, gaining 10 kilograms of weight for the play, learning Cantonese, and showing his professional attitude. News highlights: ICU physician Chen Haijin shared the latest fraud methods. The fraud group fraudulently used the Acquaintance S-Line account to summon a request to vote for the children's drawing competition, which is actually a phishing link. The content of the scam message is word for word, the number of votes is fixed at 962, and the line account password is finally deceived through the trust of the segmented dialogue set. Chen Haijin reminded that the fraudulent group frequently changes its website, which is difficult to trace, and has caused the accounts of many friends to be stolen, and called on the public to be vigilant. News highlights: Yi Xian, the girlfriend of Zheng Ziyu, a good player of the Chinese vocational Taiwan Steel Eagles, recently posted a series of hot photos on IG. Netizens praised eye-catching, and Zheng Ziyu left a humorous message, "I didn't want to like it," which sparked heated discussions. 21-year-old Zheng Ziyu won the Best Newcomer last year, and his salary soared from 100,000 to 250,000. News highlights: Kuomintang chairman Zhu Liluang called for a protest against Lai Ching-te's dictatorship on April 26 in Shanghai Dao, and whether the People's Party will participate is a cause for concern. Taichung City Councillor Zhang Heshe reminded Huang Qiuaqing not to blindly follow, emphasizing that he should think carefully about his role positioning. The Kuomintang and the People's Party will hold a Leaders of the Opposition Summit on the 22nd to discuss tariffs, parliamentary and judicial reform, and recall issues, and coordinate whether to cooperate in Operation 426. News highlights: the Reject the United Front, Defend Taiwan conference appeared on the 19th, and Chi City Councillor Yan Lingzi presided over it in a bright white breast-bursting outfit, attracting the attention of the audience and heated discussions among netizens. She emphasized the importance of being able to speak freely in Taiwan, and expressed that she is standing up to protect her family in the future. PTT villagers praised her for her good looks and words, and even threw out "How can the 426 Kuomintang win?" which triggered a war of appearance in the blue-green camp. News highlights: Bai Bingbing recently attended Lai Waru's wedding banquet and wore a 10 million emerald diamond ring and a 6 million red Hermes bag, showing her attention. However, it is rumored that she was dissatisfied with the seat leaning over and her vision blocked, so she left the seat after taking photos. In this regard, Bai Bingbing clarified through her agent that the itinerary was full that day, and the wedding banquet was the first stop, and she was not unhappy, blessed the newlyweds, and did not want to increase the trouble. News highlights: the US survey found that as many as 9% of the toothpaste on the market contains lead, nearly 2/3 contains arsenic, and there are also carcinogenic heavy metals such as mercury and cadmium, and even well-known brands such as Colgate and Sisuden are also listed. Some toothpastes contain as much as 500 ppb of lead, far exceeding safety standards and may be harmful to children's health. Experts point out that heavy metals mostly come from cleaning ingredients such as calcium carbonate and bentonite. The agency announced 5 types of children's toothpastes that do not contain heavy metals, calling on consumers to be vigilant and choose products carefully. News highlights: God of Songs Jackie Chung held a 60-plus tour at Taipei Arena, and completed the final performance on the 20th, singing a total of 234 times, setting a personal record. He admitted that he was still nervous, hoping that the last game would not disappoint the fans, and emotionally shouted that he hoped that everyone would be healthy and happy, and waited for him to come back. Regarding the outside world's doubts about whether the tour was due to lack of money, he clarified that it was the persistence and pursuit of progress in the performance, and said with a smile, "I want to be better." Jackie Chung also announced the future 70-plus tour, promising fans to see each other soon. News highlights: Fei Wang and Li Yapeng's daughter Li Yan is about to celebrate her 19th birthday, and a black and white photo of her holding a cigarette was recently exposed, which aroused heated discussions among netizens. In the photo, Li Yan is wearing casual clothes and holding a cigarette in her left hand. Although it has not been confirmed whether she smokes, it has sparked discussions between the two factions on the internet. Some netizens criticized her for urging her father to quit smoking, but she smoked by herself, while others believed that adults have the right to choose and smoking is understandable. At the same time, Li Yan's appearance also attracted attention, saying that she inherited the excellent genes of her parents, becoming more and more like her father Li Yapeng, and her eyes were like her mother Fei Wang. News highlights: singer Chen Lingzhu recently revealed in the show that he was raised by his grandmother since he was a child, and created grandma's criticism and going out to express the friendship between grandparents and grandchildren. He confessed that his grandmother passed away last year, when he was calm and did not cry even on the day of the funeral. It wasn't until a month later that memories came flooding back, and he couldn't suppress his emotions while folding the quilt, and he cried bitterly. He said that although grandma lived a hard life, she did not have much pain when she left, and believed that life and death are impermanent, and the time spent with relatives should be cherished. News highlights: actor Yu Xiang announced today that he has officially registered his marriage and shared 2 new identities. One is to become a husband, and his wife is Zibur Zhengruo, who has been a stable girlfriend for 5 years, and the other is to become an Aboriginal son-in-law. Yu Xiang thanked his wife for accompanying him through the difficult times and said that he was proud to be an Aboriginal son-in-law. He especially thanked his parents-in-law for their support and love, and mentioned that his friend Banana was a witness to the marriage. He is looking forward to the wedding at the end of the year, thanking his family, friends, and fans for their blessings, seeing this love as the result of joint efforts, and looking forward to walking into the future hand in hand with his lover. News highlights: actor Huang Zhenjie became popular for participating in Kangxi is Coming, and recently suddenly passed away at the age of 31. His mother confirmed that her son had passed away and revealed Wang's last words when he was seriously ill, telling his sister to take good care of her mother. Huang Zhenjie has worked hard in the entertainment industry since he was 15 years old, has worked many jobs to support his dreams, and chooses to bear the hard life alone. His last film was a dance with his friend Iris, and he never thought it would be his last. Friends Iris and Tian Yawo both expressed their nostalgia and regret for him on social platforms. News highlights: 31-year-old actor Huang Zhenjie became popular for participating in Kangxi is Coming, and today, 20th, was shocked to pass away, and his family has confirmed that the news is unacceptable to relatives and friends. Internet celebrity Sprite, Fang Qiwan, who had a low-key relationship with him, posted on the community, saying that he was shocked and saddened after learning the bad news. She recalled the relationship between the two and mentioned that Huang Zhenjie was delicate and caring, always silently accompanied her, and gave her favorite dolls. Sprite leaves a sentimental message wishing him happiness in heaven and wishing him a superstar in the next life. News highlights: actress Lai Waru and her ballroom dance husband Lu Jiaming held a wedding, and specially invited Hu Guo and Bai Bingbing to attend. However, Bai Bingbing was dissatisfied with the seating arrangement for the wedding banquet, because she was arranged at the door of the venue, and was even blocked by the pillars, which made it difficult to watch the stage. It is reported that she did not eat that day, did not eat a single dish, and left the table early on the grounds that there was something else. Bai Bingbing responded that because she needed to rush to 3 happy events that day, she had informed Lai Waru in advance, so she would leave the table. News highlights: famous Dr. Chen's Haijin recently encountered a new method of fraud, in which a fraud gang stole his friend's account and lured his friend into taking the bait under the pretense of children participating in a drawing competition to vote. After Chen's Haijin noticed the flaw, he shared his experience and put forward 3 observations. 1. The content of the message is exactly the same. 2. The scam will be sent in parts, and the successful responder will receive a follow-up message. 3. The polling website is so realistic that it will eventually trick the victim into entering the password for the line account. He reminded everyone to be vigilant and revealed that 4 people's accounts have been compromised. News highlights: actress Lai Waru and her ballroom dance husband Lu Jiaming held a wedding, and specially invited Hu Guo and Bai Bingbing to attend. However, Bai Bingbing was dissatisfied with the seating arrangement, because she was arranged at the door of the venue, and even blocked by the pillars, so that she could not see the stage clearly. It is reported that Bai Bingbing did not eat that day and left the table early on the grounds of other things. She then responded that she would leave early because she needed to rush to 3 happy events that day and had informed Lai Waru in advance. News highlights: Dr. Qian Zhenghong reminded that according to research, pancreatic cancer has 23 related symptoms, among which thirst is the most easily ignored. Pancreatic cancer patients often have high blood sugar, which increases urine output and triggers thirst. If you are thirsty and urinate a lot, you should measure your blood sugar as soon as possible to be alert for pancreatic problems. In addition to thirst, there are also symptoms such as epigastric pain, back pain, jaundice, loss of appetite, weight loss, and diarrhea. News highlights: the Higuchi Inagiri restaurant on Qinghai Road in Kaohsiung had a lease dispute with the landlord due to a booming business, and the landlord even smashed the flower pots in front of the store. After the news came out, it aroused public support and attracted the attention of Kaohsiung MRT Company. Gaoji contacted the store on the 20th and arranged to take the store to survey the 3 stations next Monday and choose a suitable location to set up the cabinet. Higuchi Inagiri has attracted a large number of customers with its authentic Japanese taste and friendly service, and has received support from local politicians and the community, demonstrating the warmth and friendliness of Kaohsiung citizens. News highlights: the Food and Drug Administration of the Ministry of Health and Welfare reminds that raw chicken is prone to salmonella, and splashing water during washing may contaminate other ingredients or utensils, which in turn increases the risk of infection. Many people are used to washing chicken, but this can cause gastrointestinal upset such as diarrhea and fever. The Food and Drug Administration stresses that no more washing raw chicken with clean water to avoid increasing the risk of infection due to inaction. News highlights: when a male netizen turned right near the Kaohsiung high-speed rail station, he was reported by the public for not entering the outermost lane and received a fine of 600 yuan. Feeling wronged, he said he was on the green light and obeying the traffic rules, but he was ticketed. After contacting the billing police, he learned that the right lane should drive on the right side and turn right, and questioned the inconsistency of traffic regulations in various parts of Taiwan. Netizens have a lot of discussions about this. Some people think that the road section is poorly designed, but some netizens pointed out that driving should follow the regulations, otherwise traffic accidents are likely to occur. News highlights: singer Fan Weiki brought a number of classic songs to the Affair Between Us tour held in Chengdu, China, and the live fan chorus moved her to tears. At the end of the concert, she affectionately thanked her fans and knelt down with her hands folded and bowed to express her gratitude. After the film was exposed, it sparked heated discussions, and some netizens thought that this was Fan Weiki's sincere performance, thanking fans for their support. However, some netizens criticized her for making money and questioned her sincerity. News highlights: child actor Zhang Baihan, who played Zhang Zishu's younger brother Zhang Yushu in the classic idol drama Mischievous Kiss, is now grown up and married, and director Chu Yuning recently posted wedding photos, emotionally wishing him to find happiness. Xiao Yuki, who was arrogant and smart back then, now has a mature and stable temperament, which makes fans pour into the pilgrimage to leave messages, sigh that time flies, and recall that the drama was moving. News highlights: the Coalition for Citizen Supervision of the Congress pointed out that the Legislative Yuan is currently facing 8 major security crises, including the infiltration of congressional aides, the provocation of false information, the excessively light sentence for conspiracy, and the indiscriminate deletion of the budget to paralyze the government, which seriously threaten Taiwan's security. The Governors' League called for the replacement of disqualified legislators, the disclosure of information about assistance, the strengthening of the political donation law, and the strict prevention of CCP infiltration and misinformation, so as to end the chaos in Congress and protect Taiwan's democracy. News highlights: the U.S.-China trade war is heating up. The United States has imposed high tariffs of 145% on Chinese goods, and experts have warned that a large number of cheap Chinese goods will be dumped in Europe, and the German and British markets will bear the brunt. British retailers have pointed out that there has been an influx of low-priced goods through platforms such as Shein, Temu, and Alibaba. Experts are concerned that China's overcapacity, undervalued exchange rate and government subsidies could undermine Europe's economic order. The UK and the EU have called for the abolition of minimum allowances to prevent dumping and unfair competition. News highlights: affected by the southwest wind today and tomorrow, the temperature in Taiwan has soared. Kaohsiung and Pingtung may exceed 36 degrees Celsius, and the mountainous areas of Greater Taipei, Huadong, and central and southern China will be more than 37 degrees Celsius, which may break this year's new high. Be sure to protect yourself from the sun and hydrate more when you go out to avoid heat stroke. News highlights: a popular Japanese-style rice ball restaurant in Gushan, Kaohsiung, was suspected of being forced by the landlord to evict because the business was too good, and even smashed flower pots to exert pressure, which attracted attention. Gao Ji expressed his willingness to assist him in stationing in the MRT station, and will work with the industry to explore the new site today, and many people and local people support it. News highlights: in response to the Ghost joint signature case, the Kuomintang surrounded the North Procuratorate and the North Court on the 17th and 18th to support the cadres involved in the case, and was suspected of illegal assembly. Interior Minister Liu Shifeng and the police said that they would summon Zhu Lailun and 3 other callers in accordance with the law, while the Kuomintang counter-criticized and spoke out for suppressing the people. News highlights: the Public Governors League revealed that the Legislative Yuan filed a total of 282 cases against the National Security Bill this year, and Lin Siming of the Kuomintang filed 124 cases and became the king of national security files. Call on the blue and white parties to stop the process of blocking and let the bill be substantively reviewed, otherwise the people will eliminate the anti-national security legislators with their votes. News highlights: a recent dispute incident on Qinghai Road, Gushan District, Kaohsiung, which caused heated discussions, was unexpectedly smashed by the landlord and kicked out a popular Japanese-style rice ball restaurant jointly operated by a Japanese owner and his Taiwanese wife. The couple's rice ball restaurant is deeply loved by the locals, and the Japanese owner Higuchi not only makes delicious rice balls himself, but also once held a sign of Kaohsiung refueling during the typhoon to remind passers-by to come on Kaohsiung, drive carefully, and love Taiwan and have a friendly image deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. However, it is rumored that this popular small shop was violently evicted by the landlady surnamed Xiao, and the proprietress suspected that the landlord was too good at business and intended to take back the store for self-operation, so she would find it unreasonably. News highlights: the countdown to the second phase of recall is coming. The boycott groups made the final sprint and actively carried out propaganda activities in various counties and cities. A few days ago, a college student posted on Threads of Recall News citing that she had participated in the Sunflower Student Movement with her parents in the past, and she was only 7 years old at the time. And now that the whole of Taiwan is facing a general recall, she deeply feels that Taiwan can tolerate different voices, but the most fundamental bottom line is, you can't sell the country. News highlights: Taiwan is a free and democratic country, but it has repeatedly been eaten by China in the international community, and has constantly claimed that Taiwan is a part of China, resulting in more and more people being disgusted with the CCP. Anti-communist internet celebrity Beijiang and Minan Wolf, Chen Baiwen, and others launched the Refuse the United Front, Defend Taiwan activity, which appeared on Kaida Grand Avenue a few days ago, and 55,000 people responded to the scene. When Beijiang preached on stage, he mentioned that he had inherited the legacy of the internet celebrity curator, Chen Zhaihan, but unexpectedly, netizens found that the curator who launched the anti-red media parade back then was silently watching Zongtian's YT channel, and even paid out of his own pocket to support it. News highlights: Luo Shuaiyu, an intern doctor at the 2nd Xianja Hospital of Central South University, suspected of exposing the shady scene of live organ harvesting of children, and was asked by the hospital to find a donor, and fell to his death in a mysterious way. His parents found evidence of mobile phone recordings. The content was like picking organs in the market, which triggered the suspicion of suicide, and the society was shocked. News highlights: Japanese singer Aki Yashiro died of illness for a year, and the record company actually promoted a commemorative album with a nude photo of her youth, which caused controversy. Before his death, his brokerage company condemned the act as disrespectful to the deceased, fearing that it would damage the reputation and distribute obscene materials. News highlights: the World Games will open in May, but the North City Windward Football Stadium has been rated as the lowest D, with poor facilities and worn turf, which may affect the safety of players and the image of the city. Members called for improvements to the venue, and the organizers emphasized that refurbishment and turf maintenance had been initiated to ensure the smooth running of the competition. News highlights: 38-year-old Hong Kong star Liang Xiaofeng was recently released by a makeup artist. 36 intimate photos and videos, suspected of unilaterally revealing the 4.5-year relationship between the two, which caused heated discussions on the internet. He then confessed his love frankly and was embarrassed that the photo was exposed. In the past, he had an affair with Zhang Beizi, which has become the focus of attention. News highlights: US President Donald Trump said in a post in his community that since the announcement of reciprocal tariffs on Liberation Day, many world leaders and business leaders have taken the initiative to intercede and want tariffs to be reduced. He also listed 8 non-tariff cheats, including currency indulgence, dumping, government subsidies, and technical standard restrictions, and named the European Union and Japan. He stressed that these actions are unfair to the United States and will no longer be tolerated in the future, and called on global companies to invest and set up factories in the United States. News highlights: Harvard professor David Sinclair proposed that stress is the main cause of white hair, and that high-pressure people have white hair 3 times faster than ordinary people. He proposed 3 major strategies to reverse gray hair. 1. Stress control: take deep breaths and exercise to reduce stress to ensure a good night's sleep and help repair pigment cells. 2. Diet: eat more foods rich in vitamins D3, B12 and antioxidants, such as blueberries, nuts, spinach, and avoid sugar and ultra-processed foods. 3. Hair care: use a mild shampoo to avoid UV damage, massage the scalp more, and promote blood circulation. News highlights: common behaviors committed by Taiwanese in Japan include stopping abruptly while walking, eating while walking, sliding mobile phones while eating, taking a train without putting down a backpack, wearing slippers to visit department stores, and messing up the table after eating. These habits are not felt in Taiwan, but they can cause inconvenience or indecent impressions in Japan, especially in public. When going abroad, you should pay attention to the local cultural differences to avoid inadvertently causing trouble. News highlights: a woman surnamed Zhang in her 70s made a left turn on her bicycle and collided with a motorcyclist surnamed Liao, who was going straight, and Liao was seriously injured. The accident appraisal showed that Mrs. Zhang's failure to let the car go straight was the main cause, and Mrs. Zhang was convicted of negligent injury and was originally sentenced to 50 days of detention. After appealing, Zhang's son claimed that his mother had dementia and exaggerated his injuries, and the court changed the sentence to Zhang's fine. The court criticized Zhang's son for unduly absolving his responsibilities and wasting judicial resources, emphasizing that the cause should be investigated rather than implicating others, and finally the High Court revoked the first instance judgment and changed the judgment. News highlights: Junosuke Taguchi, a former member of the Japanese boy band Cotton, was arrested for possession of marijuana in 2019 and then faded out of showbiz. Last year, he changed careers to serve as a public relations officer for a Japanese cowherd store and exposed it on social platforms. Recently, the internet celebrity KG shared the recent situation of Junosuke Taguchi. He mentioned that he was a member of Genesis in his self-introduction, and revealed his love for acting, saying that he hopes to continue to stand on the stage. He also said that he is still in contact with former teammates Kazuya Kamirai and Ren Akanishi, and mentioned that Cotton has been disbanded. News highlights: Mr. 486, Chen Yanchang, an e-commerce entrepreneur, recently shared his experience of having his credit card stolen. His Yushin USD/TWD dual currency card was stolen on Facebook, with an amount of more than NT $300,000. At first, I thought it was my son who was spending in the United States, but I didn't realize it until I noticed that there were multiple transactions in a short period of time. Fortunately, he immediately informed the bank that the outstanding amount had been cancelled and the amount already paid had been refunded. This incident reminds everyone to be vigilant and cautious when entering credit card information when shopping online. News highlights: internet celebrity Pineapple, Wu Hong'ai, recently announced that he will enter the real estate industry and plans to open his own real estate agency, and revealed this plan when interacting with netizens. Despite feeling affected by a recent dispute with her tired boss, Pineapple said she would not consider retiring and stressed that she would work harder to take care of her family and friends. He also expressed his feelings, reflected on his past mistakes, and wished those who had detractors all the best, and time will tell. News highlights: Xiao's second daughter Lily, Su Sheon, is only 17 years old and has the temperament of a supermodel, and recently shared beautiful photos on social platforms, causing fans to exclaim "beauty in the sky" and "immortal." Some people even joked that she was like her mother Lin Chiliang. Lily's beauty is considered to resemble a big S, and she shows her style in her work videos. Recently, she wore a black skinny dress and trench coat with designer spaghetti straps in a beautiful photo shoot on the streets of London, showing a style that is both luxurious and temperamental. News highlights 58-year-old actress Wang Zuxian became popular all over Asia because of a Chinese ghost story, and later chose to retire and settle in Canada, devoting herself to practicing Buddhism. Recently, she announced that she would start a business and open a Moxibustion health club in Vancouver, attracting many fans. Wang Zuxian's store has a quiet atmosphere, combined with the style of Buddhist Zen, and provides appointment-based Moxibustion services, each time for 1 hour. The price is about NT $2,743. Wang Zuxian said that Moxibustion is the career she wants to try most after retiring from the circle, and she is grateful to provide health services for everyone. News highlights a spokesperson for the Ministry of Commerce on the mainland said by Foreign News that the Trump administration has asked other countries to restrict trade with China to express strong opposition to the measures and stressed that China firmly opposes any situation that makes a deal at the expense of its own interests. The Chinese side said that if such a situation occurs, it will take reciprocal countermeasures to firmly safeguard its national rights and interests. The speaker pointed out that unilateralism and protectionism would make all countries victims, and called on all countries to jointly defend international trade rules and fairness and justice. News highlights Kuomintang legislator Lin Paiziong recently responded to the provocation of the internet celebrity Manon Wolf to the curator Chen Haihan in the program, and strongly said that the curator was born in the special forces and has extremely high military capabilities, which should be respected. He pointed out that the curator had served in the Liangshan Army, a rare elite unit in Asia, and stressed that the curator could easily knock out 20 opponents in 15 minutes and would defend his country, in stark contrast to the situation where some people may bow their heads and admit their mistakes. He called on everyone to respect these professionally competent soldiers because they have served the country. News highlights recently, physician Chen Haijin shared his experience of being defrauded by many friends around him. He receives a message from Line inducing him to click on the link to vote for the kids drawing contest and asks him to enter his personal information. This kind of fraud is so clever that many people are deceived, and even lead to the theft of Line accounts and the theft of credit cards. The police department reminds the public to avoid clicking on unknown links, not to enter sensitive information such as account passwords and verification codes, and encourages them to contact the 165 anti-fraud hotline immediately when encountering suspected fraud. News highlights family medicine physician Chen Xinmei shared that although a woman had consumed organic food for 10 years, her body still exceeded the standard of plasticizers and heavy metals, and finally gradually returned to normal by strengthening the detoxification function of the liver. She recommends eating more cruciferous vegetables, turmeric, garlic, mushrooms and avocados, which can help improve liver detoxification, as well as supplementing nutrients such as zinc, selenium and glutathione to help eliminate toxins from the body. News highlights Foreign Minister Lim Ka-long confirmed today that it is not expected to be possible to print passports after October due to budget cuts. Chen Shenzhu, acting director of the Consular Bureau, said that it is expected that the security stock will be exhausted by the end of October, and there may be no passports to issue in December, so it is necessary to start bidding work early. This year, it is estimated that 2.09 million copies will be issued, and 690,000 copies have been issued, and if the number of applicants is high, there will be a shortage. News highlights on the afternoon of the 18th, a terrifying incident occurred at Zhongshan station of the Taipei MRT, and a man shouted there is a bomb in the suitcase in the carriage, causing passengers to panic and call the police in real time. The MRT police immediately inspected the carriage, emptied the carriage for inspection, and finally sent it back to the Beijiao factory for further inspection, and found no dangerous goods. The police believed that the man was suspected of fabricating intimidation and sent him to the police in accordance with the law. News highlights Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanren put forward a proposal to overthrow the cabinet, which caused waves within the blue camp, with as many as 8 members of the standing committee supporting it, and about 41 legislators agreeing with the plan. Kuomintang chairman Zhu Liluan stressed that the option of toppling the cabinet would not be ruled out, but the attitude of the local princes was ambiguous, and Dawan Mayor Chong Shanzheng and Taichung Mayor Liu Zaihuyan did not make a clear statement. The internal opinions of the blue camp still need to be integrated, and it remains to be seen whether it will promote the collapse of the cabinet in the future. News highlights today, 21st, the whole Taiwan will be sunny to cloudy during the day, with scattered brief showers in the mountains in the afternoon. In terms of temperature, the high temperature in the north is about 31 to 34 degrees, and the flat land in the south can reach 35 or 36 degrees. Fog or low clouds in Kinmen and Matsu with poor visibility. The meteorological forecast shows that the southwest wind will strengthen on the 22nd, the high temperature will continue, and there may be feign winds in some areas. There will be a frontal impact in the coming days, with temperatures dropping in the north and northeast with brief showers or thunder showers. News highlights the memory industry ushered in a stocking boom, and the popularity of Taiwan factory concept stocks rose again, and the trading volume of Nanya branch, 2,408, exceeded 170,000 in early trading on the 21st, and the stock price sharply crossed the monthly line, ranking firmly in popularity. Pinan, 8,088, stock price also hit the daily limit, driving ADATA, 3,260, Transcend, 2,451, PTI, 6,239, and other stocks to rise. According to TrendForce survey, the change in U.S. tariff policy will drive the contract price of DRAM and NAND flash to increase by 3%-8% in the second quarter. Nanyok continues to refine the process and launch high-efficiency products, and it is expected that the demand will continue to grow under AI and 5G applications. News highlights: the global transportation chain is facing three major headwinds. Trump's tariff war has caused global trade to freeze, and container bookings have dropped by 49%. U.S. cargo owners asked the shipping company to renegotiate the long-term contract and reduce the freight rate to the level of no surplus. Global logistics giant DHL has suspended the receipt of B2C shipments of more than $800 due to new customs regulations, resulting in a backlog of goods and a halt in the logistics chain. As a result, the global maritime industry has suffered the biggest stress test since the pandemic, and it is expected that U.S. imports will collapse, and trade will continue to decline in the coming quarters. News highlights: U.S. stocks were closed on Friday, and the market's focus shifted to TSMC's large customer base, which is about to release its earnings report. Tesla will be the first to kick off on April 22, followed by Alphabet, Intel, and other major manufacturers, and Nvidia will announce it on May 28. The market is concerned about semiconductor tariffs and economic trends, and some component manufacturers have cut orders, but TSMC has not seen a change in customer behavior. The legal person estimates that the details of the semiconductor tariffs will be decided on May 7 and will have an impact on the economy in the second half of the year. TSMC Chairman Wei Jia emphasized that TSMC currently has no negotiations for joint ventures or technology sharing with other companies. News highlights: Chicago Federal Reserve Bank President Gooseby warned that the Federal Reserve should remain independent and avoid political interference that could undermine credibility. Trump said last week that he wanted Powell to step down because he was unhappy that the Fed had not followed up with a rate cut. Republican Senator John F. Kennedy supported Fed independence, arguing that the president had no authority to remove the chairman. Powell stressed that the Fed's independence is guaranteed by law and that it will not voluntarily leave before the end of its term. News highlights: the U.S. reciprocal tariff policy was suspended for 90 days, triggering a wave of corporate order grabbing, and Taiwan's shipping stocks soared in the short term. However, the market still needs to pay attention to the new carbon pricing system, which will increase transportation costs and may affect the development of the shipping industry. The global shipping industry is facing tariff fluctuations and carbon emission regulations, and future freight rates and costs will fluctuate dramatically, which will put pressure on the operation of the industry. News highlights: the People's Party announced that it will hold a summit of opposition leaders on April 22 to discuss the impact of high U.S. tariffs on Taiwan and the defense of justice and democracy. Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Liluan and People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing will attend, focusing on issues such as international tariffs, parliamentary and judicial reform. The People's Party criticized the ruling party for its incompetence, called on opposition leaders to seek consensus, and stressed that actions should be taken to meet people's expectations, promote social unity and rebuild trust in politics. News highlights: Vietnam is facing an increasingly difficult situation between high U.S. tariffs and China's South China Sea disputes. As an important manufacturing and assembly base in Southeast Asia, Vietnam has a large trade surplus with the United States, but at the same time it is dependent on Chinese imports. U.S. tariffs on Vietnam could drag its economic growth by nearly half, and the Vietnamese government is actively seeking to negotiate tariff reductions with the U.S. At the same time, economic cooperation between Vietnam and China remains close and cannot be completely separated. Experts believe that Vietnam will continue to maintain a balance between China and the United States and seek maximum benefits. News highlights: some netizens shared that a friend took his wife, 2 children, and parents to Japan for a free trip, and originally planned to save money, but because he took his elders and children to pull luggage and walk 3 kilometers, the elders felt tired, argued with friends, and even wanted to return to China. Netizens said that although independent travel is flexible, the needs of the elders and children should be taken into account, and it is recommended that the elders should choose a tour group or car rental instead of a self-guided itinerary. News highlights: former Zhonghua County Mayor Zhou Boiwan recently announced his candidacy for the chairmanship of the Kuomintang, emphasizing that the political party should be rotated, the chairman should be rotated first, and the kingmaker should be his own responsibility, and he will not participate in the 2026 or 2028 elections. He criticized the KMT for being too weak at the moment, and believed that Chairman Zhu Liluan was tired and should be allowed to rest. If elected chairman, Zhou Boiwan will promote the integration of local party power with local executive heads, and said he will support Taichung Mayor Liu Zhihuan if she runs for president. News highlights: Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanan proposed that the Legislative Yuan promote the collapse of the cabinet, which sparked heated discussions. It is rumored that 80% of KMT legislators support this proposal, and political commentator Zhang Yujin analyzed that Zhang Wanan proposed to oust the cabinet because Taipei City was facing large-scale recall pressure and shifted the blame to Zhu Liluan and Huang Qiuqing. Zhang Yujin believes that it is difficult to pass the cabinet collapse because the People's Party and some Kuomintang legislators oppose it, and whether the cabinet surrender can succeed still needs to consider President Li Qing's position. He stressed that the general recall is a citizens' movement that is difficult to interfere with by politicians. News highlights Wu Beiwei, the leader of the proposal to remove Kuomintang legislator Luo Mingke, announced his withdrawal from the Balobo recall team. He said that due to health reasons and the fact that he was no longer involved in internal decision-making, he could no longer bear legal responsibility for the decision to boycott the group. He stressed that if the second phase of the petition is successful, he will fulfill his obligation to complete the recall process. The strike responded that although Wu Beiwei withdrew, he had provided resources for the strike and would inform him in advance in the announcement. As for whether to change the leader, the strike said that it would not be replaced, because it was nearing the final stage. News highlights the American Institute in Taiwan, 8, today shared a successful case of cooperation between U.S. and Taiwan law enforcement agencies, pointing out that a few months ago, the United States and Taiwan successfully cooperated to arrest a drug trafficking suspect surnamed Zhong who lives in Los Angeles. 8 said that the suspect surnamed Zhong is suspected to be a core figure of the Bamboo Union Gang Ming Gran Association. In this operation, Taiwan's Criminal Police Bureau worked with U.S. law enforcement agencies, such as the Department of Homeland Security, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to successfully arrest the suspect, and once again demonstrated the achievements of cross-border law enforcement cooperation between the two countries. News highlights Taiwan's latest line scam was exposed, and Dr. Chen Haijin shared his experience, pointing out that after the fraud syndicate stole a colleague's account, he sent a message through Line to defraud him on the pretext of helping to vote. One of his former colleagues asked for help with the vote and even provided a link. Chen Haijin found that there was no discussion about the website, and subsequently received the same scam message from another colleague, which caused many victims to wail. There is no difference in the methods of fraud, which has led many people to fall for it. News highlights Argentine football legend goalkeeper Hugo Orlando Gatti passed away this Sunday at the age of 80. An icon of Boca Juniors, Gatti has left a deep mark on the history of Argentine football with his uninhibited and innovative scavenger goalkeeper style. His career spanned 26 years, with 765 appearances and 3 domestic titles in the Copa Libertadores. Gatti also played 14 games for the Argentine national team. In February, his condition deteriorated dramatically after an accident, and his family finally decided to remove the respirator, which triggered mourning from all walks of life, and Argentine President Milei also mourned and issued a memorial service. News highlights U.S. President Donald Trump posted his negotiation tips on the social media platform Truth, saying that those who own gold make the rules, which sparked a market reaction and sent gold prices soaring during Monday's Asian trading session, rising more than $43 an ounce to a new high of $3,370. Trump's criticism of Fed Chair Jerome Powell sparked panic in the market, causing the dollar index to fall below 99, hitting a new low since April 2022. Goldman Sachs believes that the rise in gold prices is mainly due to the active buying of Asian officials, and it is expected that the gold price could reach $3,700 an ounce by the end of the year. News highlights the Kaohsiung double strike robbery case revealed a ghost signature. The person in charge, Su Shangxian, was taken into custody, and his father refuted the accusation of copying the roster. DPP legislator Huang Ji questioned the organization behind it, and named the Kuomintang JC Party Department and Zhu Lailun. The Kuomintang retorted that it only assisted in legal support, accusing the Green Camp of leading the Wind to conduct a longitudinal investigation. Mayor Chen Kamai criticized the dead man's signature as a democratic crisis and called for the truth to be clarified. News highlights the prosecutor investigated and handled the ghost signature case, searched many places in the Kuomintang and interviewed party workers. Zhu Lailun did not apply for a rally on the 19th, calling on the party to protest against judicial injustice, and the police held up a sign to warn 7 times to no avail. Minister of the Interior Liu Shifang confirmed on the 21st that he would report to the Beijing Procuratorate Investigation Office and summoned Zhu Lailun, Xia Longjia and Yang Zhidian for explanation. News highlights Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanan shouted out the option of toppling the cabinet, which sparked heated discussions. Psychiatrist Shen Zhenan supported the collapse of the cabinet, believing that it could resolve the pressure of recall and return to the blue-green showdown. He suggested that the People's Party could list Ko Wentz as a non-district candidate for the election, and his seat would be safe. According to Shen's analysis, even if the People's Party does not support, the Kuomintang and some DPP legislators may pass the test, and if the cabinet is overthrown, Li Qiang will face the choice of dissolving the National Assembly or reshuffling the cabinet, and the political situation may appear new. News highlights former President Chen Shui-bian recently stressed at the Kita Grand School that democracy should respect different opinions and minority voices. Chen Shui-bian reiterated his stance in another article on July 21, criticizing that we should not be prone to buttoning up hats, and that if we have different opinions, we should label them as fellow travelers. This time the wind reversed, and most netizens left messages in support, praising him for his courage and democratic demeanor, and also criticizing the restless and unbalanced political atmosphere today. News highlights: the Ministry of Finance will announce the rent standard for 2024 to welcome two major changes. The mid-2014 will be the demarcation, the calculation method will be differentiated between old and new houses, and the present value of land will be included for the first time. It is estimated that the monthly rent standard of a 30-year-old house in Da'an District, Taipei City, will rise from 6,750 yuan to about 10,000 yuan, an increase of 4 to 5%. This new regime will affect the preferential threshold of hoarding tax 2.0, which will be applicable to May tax filing and housing tax collection. Experts also warn that the real estate market may have this year. News highlights: 39-year-old Junosuk Taguchi, a former member of Cotton, retired from the circle in 2019 due to a drug abuse incident, and now changes his career to become a guest male public relations in a Japanese cowherd shop. Sister Ka, a mainland internet celebrity, visited the store a few days ago, and Taguchi learned that the other party was an internet celebrity and immediately switched to star mode and interacted enthusiastically with her clothes. He admitted that he never wanted to be a cowherd, and still missed the days when the dome began to sing, and said that he likes to perform, is happy to see fans smile, and wants to continue to stand on the stage in the future. News highlights: 38-year-old Hong Kong actor Liang Xiaofeng, the lead singer of Sea All-Star, recently sparked heated discussions because the makeup artist released an intimate photo of the two. The makeup artist shared 36 photos on social media, including hugging, kissing and half nudity, and revealed that the two had been dating for 4.5 years. Liang Xiaofeng then admitted the relationship, saying that although he chose to be in a low-key relationship, the people around him already knew about it. He apologized for the scale of the intimate photos and said that they were unfiltered and sorry for it. Liang Xiaofeng had a low-key love life in the past, and it was rumored that he had an affair with Zhang Beizi, but the two did not admit it publicly. News highlights: Natsuki, a well-known Japanese cartoonist, recently predicted that a huge tsunami would hit Asia in July this year and Taiwan, Indonesia and the Northern Mariana Islands could be severely impacted. Nagarjuna said that the predicted undersea volcanic eruption would trigger a large-scale tsunami that would affect many Asian countries, and revealed that he had seen dragon-like patterns in his dreams. Seismologists point out that while this prediction lacks scientific basis, there is a real risk of earthquakes in the region from a geological point of view. Nagarjuna is known for his accurate prediction of major events, including the 1995 Great Hanshin earthquake, the 2011 311 tsunami, and the coronavirus pandemic. News highlights: Xiaoji, pseudonym, a 22-year-old girl from Xingzhou City, Henan Province, mainland China, went to the hospital for a checkup because she was more than 5 days late for menstruation, and the results of an HCG test showed that she was pregnant. Xiaoji said that she had intimate contact with her boyfriend, such as hugging and kissing, but never had sex. The doctor explained that this type of borderline sex, although the chance of pregnancy is low, can still occur, especially if the man's secretion has sperm and touches the woman's vaginal opening, and the woman is ovulating. Doctors also mention that women have different hymen structures, which can affect the possibility of pregnancy. News highlights: after recently completing their tour at the Lingkao Stadium in Taipei, the South Korean girl group News announced that it will become the first Korean girl group to kick off baseball on April 27 and hold a kickoff ceremony at the Taipei Arena. This event will be held after the end of the Weequan Dragons home game with a special performance. News's concert in Taiwan had a warm atmosphere, singing Mayday's classic song Loving Love to interact with fans, showing a strong charm. In addition, News has also been selected as the spokesperson of the ESIM brand, and its popularity continues to rise. News highlights: South Korean actor Park Bo-kim showed his character and carefulness during the filming of the drama Bitter Orange Comes to Meet You. He found that the art crew had left out iPads during the filming of one scene, which may have affected the authenticity of the plot. To help her cover up her mistakes, Park pretended that her acting skills were not good and asked the director to rewatch the footage and confirm if the iPad appeared. Finally, he reassured the staff, "Don't worry, it's not detected," and playfully reminded her to be responsible. This behind-the-scenes story shows Park Bo-kim's kindness and carefulness, proving once again that his character is impeccable. News highlights: Huang Zhenzhe, who became famous for participating in Kangxi Is Coming, unfortunately passed away on the 20th at the age of 31, shocking his friends. Aries, a friend with whom he often collaborates on films, couldn't believe the sad news and sent a message on social media to express her grief to Wang, regretting that she didn't find the hint that he was calling for help in time. Iris described the rainy weather on the night of Wang's death, and the whole sky seemed to grieve with her and his mother. When she saw him for the last time, she felt deeply guilty and asked herself if she was innocent, and the misfortune in her life struck again. News highlights: the Vatican announced on the 21st that Roman Catholic Pope Francis passed away at the age of 88. Since taking office in 2013, Francis, the first Hispanic pope, has been committed to reforming the Church, caring for the vulnerable, and promoting dialogue with China. During his tenure, he advocated for peace and was open to homosexuality, environmental protection, and the female clergy. Although the policy toward China has caused controversy, there are still different opinions about the intentions behind it. With the passing of Francis, the future of the Holy See is in the spotlight. News highlights Foreign Minister Lin Jialong confirmed on the 21st that due to the budget being frozen, the budget for passport printing is tight, and it is estimated that passports will not be printed by the end of October this year. The acting director of the Consular Bureau, Mr. Chan Shengyu, said that the passport security stock is about 2 months, and if the demand for the application is overwhelming, it may be completely used up by December, so he will contact the supplier in advance and start the bidding response. News highlights TSMC's 2024 shareholder annual report revealed major changes, with the new labor retirement fund reduced by nearly 40,000 and its shareholding reduced to 302,000, falling out of the top 5 and retreating to the 7th largest shareholder, while Fubon Life Insurance was removed from the top 10 shareholders. Citibank's custody of TSMC ADR ranked first, and the holdings of the National Development Fund remained unchanged. The news sparked heated discussions in PTT, with some people praising the withdrawal of high-end stocks for stability, and some shareholders lamented that the miserable households are left to wash the dishes. News highlights bariatric physician Xiao Jijian suggested that in addition to exercise, diet is also the key to weight loss, sharing 7 fat-burning foods: chili peppers, protein, deep-sea fish, nuts, yogurt, green tea and coffee. Deep-sea fish contains omega-3 to reduce inflammation, and nuts help stabilize blood sugar. Combined with aerobic exercise, high-intensity interval and weight training, it can speed up metabolism and improve fat burning. News highlights Taichung parking fees are soaring, the people are complaining, most private parking lots have no buffer time, parking for 4 minutes is also charged for 1 hour, holidays and even no upper limit, some people park for 7.5 hours to pay 800 yuan. Popular business districts such as Kinmei, Shang and Kongd Road often charge 50 to 80 yuan for half an hour, which is comparable to the price of a bento. The Transportation Bureau said that it did not force private parking lots to set buffer times, and the upper limit of the rate was approved according to individual applications, and only continued to promote the integration of smart parking information. News highlights senior singer Zhang Jinyi attended the press conference of the rehearsal of True Love show Sapphire Grand Song Hall today, 21st, revealing that he suffered from stage 2 blink cancer, and received 6 chemotherapy and 30 radiotherapy last year. He was optimistic about his illness and bluntly said that he was satisfied to live to the age of 70. On May 10th and 11th, Mother's Day, JLIU will gather 15 singers such as Peng Cha-cha and Chen Yelan to participate in the grand event. News highlights artist Lai Waru's wedding has become the focus of the showbiz, and Hu Guo, Bai Bingbing and Kong Kong are rarely in the same frame. According to media reports, Bai Bingbing was suspected of being passed by passers-by due to the seating arrangement, and left the venue early. Bai Bingbing clarified that he had 3 happy events that day, and had already informed the bride Lai Waru and denied dissatisfaction. She emphasized that her friendship with Hu Guo has not changed for many years, and called on the outside world not to speculate. News highlights 35-year-old Hollywood actress Kristen Stewart and 37-year-old screenwriter girlfriend Dylan Meyer recently held a warm and small wedding at their home in Los Angeles and officially became husband and wife. The two have been dating for 5 years, got engaged in 2021, and now they have achieved positive results. Christine had a sensational relationship with Rob Pattinson in the past because of Twilight, and after the turmoil, she belonged to her relationship and ushered in a happy new life. News highlights Sun Sheng, a former member of $1 Million YouTuber Anti-Bone Boy, was sentenced to 5 months in prison and terminated his contract for a sexual harassment case, and then his relationship with his girlfriend Dove Dove cracked. Recently, Sun Sheng was exposed to the hotel, which caused Dove's disappointment and a cold war for a while. The two have been silent for 2 months, and Sun Sheng posted a photo of sending flowers to Dove on social media, and admitted that she had wanted to break up, thanked her for her company and felt guilty for her past behavior. Eventually, Dove smiled when he receives the flowers, and the two reconcile. News highlights the powerful actress Xiao Sun, Huang Jing'ai, gave a lecture at the Zhongshan 73 Film and Television Art Space yesterday, 20th, looking back on her 20-year acting career. She shared that she debuted from I Love Black Club and experienced unknown hardships, including being ignored by the crew and losing beetle nuts by the director, but she persevered in her dream and finally won the Best Newcomer at the Taipei Film Awards. Kaoru encouraged the audience to believe in yourself and mentioned that after her mother's death, she found her original intention of acting through the movie Ha Young's Family. Her positive energy sentence touched the audience, and introduced her latest work Pork Belly, which was shortlisted for the Golden Harvest Award and will be screened next month. News highlights actress Lai Waru and her husband Lu Jiaming held a makeup wedding banquet on the 13th of this month, attended by big names such as Hu Guo, Bai Bingbing and Kong Kong. Bai Bingbing left early due to the problem of seating arrangement, and it was rumored that she could not enjoy the wedding banquet happily. In this regard, she issued a statement to clarify, emphasizing that the wedding was her first stall, and did not leave the table because of the dissatisfaction with the seats, but because there were other secondary rushes, and expressed that she did not have any unhappy emotions for the newlyweds, and asked the media not to spread false information to avoid adding trouble to the newlyweds. She also added that she rarely attends weddings, and she specially attends because the groom Lu Jiaming is her ballroom dance teacher. News highlights: Kaohsiung Pop Music Center will host the 2025 True Love Show. Sapphire Grand Song Hall, the Golden Song singer Su Mingyuan and Zheng Jin sang the classic Golden songs The Kind Villain and After Home in a rehearsal, which was sincere and moving, and moved the audience. However, 69-year-old Zheng Jinyi blew himself up and suffered from stage 2 bladder cancer, undergoing 6 chemotherapy treatments and 30 radiotherapy. He revealed that the tumor was found because of uncomfortable urine, and said that he did not feel uncomfortable during the treatment, and his hair did not fall out, emphasizing that he should maintain an optimistic attitude to fight cancer, and said that he was not afraid of life and death, and felt that it was enough to live to the age of 70. News highlights: actor Lan Junchen and violinist wife Chen Yura have been married for 9 years, but recently there was news of a marriage change, and the two parties are currently in a divorce lawsuit. Lan Junchen's works have decreased in recent years, and he mainly takes care of his family, which has become one of the reasons for the breakdown of his marriage. He and his wife had disagreements over the education of their children and often quarreled. It has been reported that Lan Junchen has hired a celebrity lawyer to handle the divorce, showing that he is determined to separate. Recently, he was photographed visiting the night market with his friends, although his face was sad, but he took this opportunity to change his mood and try to get out of the haze. News highlights: Pope Francis passed away today at the age of 88. Since his election in 2013, he has become the first pope from Latin America and has won the love of believers around the world for his simplicity and people-friendly style. Francis changed the traditional way of thinking about the church, emphasizing that the church should pay attention to poverty and disadvantage, and actively supporting the LGBT community. His spirit of reform and concern for the people made him the Pope of the people with a global influence. Francis' death is a great loss to Catholics around the globe, and his contribution will forever remain in the history of the Church. News highlights: the prosecutor is investigating the Kuomintang suspected of being recalled, and has searched the party offices in Tainan, Taipei and New Taipei City. The Kuomintang criticized this as a judicial persecution by the Lai government, and called the people to protest at 3 p.m. on April 26. Interior Minister Liu Shifang said that he would ask the Taipei City Police to summon Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Lailun and others as the main suspects in the incident. Kuomintang lawmaker Ling Tao strongly criticized the government's blue-green standards and accused the government of using the judiciary to liquidate opposition parties, while the KMT said it would resolutely confront. News highlights: Zhang Meijuan, the proprietress of a Japanese-style rice ball specialty store in Gushan, Kaohsiung, made the news because of a lease dispute with its landlord, saying that despite the psychological pressure brought by the incident, it also made them feel the warmth of Taiwan and convinced them that their decision to come to Taiwan was the right one. This turmoil stimulated the sales of products in the store, and the rice balls were quickly sold out, and the performance increased by 3 times. Chang stressed that despite the host's sad behavior, they are determined to continue their business and insist on proving that Taiwan is a place where the law is spoken. In the future, they will continue to operate at their current location and consider new points of sale and access. News highlights: Su Yukin, the person in charge of Vans Technology Co., Limited, was suspected of selling counterfeit sneakers, with a fraud amount of up to 80.86 million yuan, and found unsuspecting internet celebrities and group buyers to help sell them, becoming a victim. A number of influencers, including Chen Ling, a well-known blogger and Panja Ikai's wife, helped sell sneakers, which were later found to be counterfeit, and Chen Ling helped compile the order information and assist consumers in filing a lawsuit. The Beijing Procuratorate indicted Su Yukin and his girlfriend Liu Haijun, accusing them of importing counterfeit sneakers from China since 2019 and committing fraud in the name of legal authenticity, and finally seized 3,789 pairs of counterfeit products, involving more than 20,000 transactions.